Welcome everyone. Today in this video we are going to see security services provided by the GSM system. So in the previous videos we have seen GSM architecture, in which we saw there are certain components of the system which are responsible for providing security for mobile communication in the GSM system. So these components are primarily authentication center, which is associated with the different MSCs, and SIM card, which is present inside the mobile handset, that is mobile station. So three types of security services are provided. First one is authentication, second one is confidentiality, and third one is anonymity. Now in the authentication, two types of authentication happens, that is validating a person who is accessing a SIM card, and then validating a SIM card over the network. So to validate a person for accessing the SIM card, GSM provides a personal identification number which has to be entered to start using the SIM card. If your device gets stolen, then your SIM card can be blocked by reporting to the service provider. And to unblock this SIM card, you will need to provide PUK, that is pin unblocking key. Okay, so this is how SIM card can be protected from illegal access. Then once SIM card is authenticated, then it can be registered on the network using a challenge response method. The details of this method we will see later on in this video. Okay, so this is how users are validated for availing the services provided by GSM system. The next service is confidentiality. Once users are authenticated, they can start using GSM services for making a communication, whether that communication is a voice communication or data communication. In both cases, their data exchange or voice exchange will be kept confidential by using encryption mechanism. Details of this encryption mechanism we will see again later on in this video. But one thing key to note here is that this confidentiality is maintained only over the radio interface. It is not made, or it is not kept confidential for the entire network. So only UM interface contains the confidentiality for the GSM system. Okay. Then the last one, that is anonymity, which is another type of security service in GSM. Anonymity means hiding the identity of a user. Users can be identified over a wireless network by their two numbers, primarily two numbers, which are their phone number, that is MSISDN and IMSI. MSISDN is publicly available because that is required for making a call, but IMSI is not publicly available, but it can be accessed when communication is going on. So to keep IMSI hidden, a temporary number or temporary mobile subscriber identity TMSI is assigned by the VLR for ongoing communication. Now temporary means how long? This TMSI remains valid for a short period of time as long as you are changing the location. So it is totally dependent on the system when to change your TMSI. So during ongoing communication, several times TMSI may get changed, and that's how your IMSI will be kept hidden from the communication. Okay, so TMSI, since it is randomly changing, it cannot be identified who is actually participated in the communication. So let's see how these three services are implemented. Primarily, three algorithms are specified to provide these three services. First algorithm is A3, which is used for authentication. Second is A5, which is used for encryption, that is providing confidentiality. And third one is A8, which is used for generating the keys required for encryption. That these keys are called as cipher keys. Okay, so A3, out of these two, A3 and A8, out of these three, A3 and A8 are publicly available over the internet. That means their implementation is well known to everyone. So how do they work? Since they are publicly available in the internet, they are not mandatory to use as it is. Service provider can use advanced mechanism or advanced algorithms for authentication and key generation. But if you don't want to use advanced algorithm, GSM provides A3 and A8 for authentication and key generation. Then the third algorithm, that is A5, which is used for encryption, it is standardized by the GSM. All the communicating parties must use the same algorithm because data encrypted at one end should be decrypted at the other end. That's why A5 is standardized. So let's see how first A3 algorithm is implemented. A3 algorithm is associated with authentication. So it requires IMSI and authentication key which comes along with every SIM card. For every user there will be a separate and unique authentication key. List of these keys are saved in the authentication center for all those users which are registered on the network. Okay, so this mechanism or this algorithm A3 uses a challenge response method. Let's see what this challenge response method is. As you can see on your screen, there is a entire mechanism which is shown over here. This is a mobile network which provides you the service, and let's see, this is a user of this particular network. Now as I said, authentication center or access control stores the list of keys for all users which are part of this network. Okay, this KI is a taken from list of keys which are currently registered on this network. Now whenever a user requests for a service, then its authentication key will be extracted from the authentication center by the mobile network. Okay, now after that, AC, that is authentication center or access control, generates one random number and sends it to the user as well. Okay, so AC generates a random number and sends it to the user. So both parties, that is network as well as SIM card, now has authentication key and random number. Random number is a shared one, whereas authentication key are individual ones. SIM card knows its own authentication key which is available with it, and network knows authentication key from the list which is provided while registration. Now both these numbers, that is KI, that is authentication key, and random number are given as an input to A3 algorithm. The actual algorithm we are not going to discuss, we are just see how the challenge response method works. A3 algorithm is available on the internet, you can refer that. So once A3 accepts the KI and random number, it calculates a signed response as a output. Okay, so signed response is calculated at the network end, and signed response is also calculated at the SIM card end by the user. Both these signed responses are of 32 bits. When both parties calculate the signed responses, they are given to the mobile switching center. The authentication center forwards it to the mobile switching center, and SIM card, that is mobile user, again sends it to the authentication center. Now MSC compares these two responses. If they are equal, then user is authenticated. If both numbers are not equal, then user is not authenticated. Okay, so this is very simple mechanism. Why it is called a challenge response? Access control or authentication center generates a random number and challenges the user to generate same signed response as it will generate at its own end. Okay, I am repeating again why it is called as challenge response method. authentication center generates a random number which is given as a challenge to the user, so that whatever signed response generated by the SIM should match with the signed response generated by the authentication center or access control. So if the response from the user is same as that of SRES generated by the network, then user is authenticated. Otherwise, it is not authenticated. I hope it is clear now. So this is how authentication is performed, or challenge response method is implemented in the GSM. Now let's see, once user is authenticated, how its data is encrypted over the radio interface. In the both diagrams you will see only one user and a mobile network is shown. So that shows that all these mechanisms are implemented only over the wireless interface. Other party is not directly involved, because beyond this mobile network there will be fixed connection. So let's go to the encryption mechanism. Similar to authentication, again authentication center or access control generates a random number which is given as a challenge to the user. Okay, both means mobile network as well as mobile station, that is SIM card. Both will use same authentication key which was used in the authentication process. But this time these two numbers or these two parameters are given as input to A8 algorithm, which is an algorithm for encryption. Which is algorithm for generating a cipher key. So A8 algorithm generates the output as a cipher key. Okay, so mobile network as well as SIM card both will generate a cipher key which will be used for encryption at the base station subsystem. Now once the cipher key is generated, it is forwarded to base station where user data is encrypted using this cipher key. So data plus or XORed with cipher key will encrypt your data, and then it can be exchanged over the wireless interface. Since both users are since mobile network and SIM card both are using same authentication key, their cipher key will be also same. Okay, since both user as well as network are using same authentication key, their cipher key will be also same. And that's why the encryption which is applied by the BSS and encryption which is applied by the mobile station, it will be matched. So whatever data sent by the base station, it can be decrypted by the mobile station, or whatever data generated by the mobile station, it can be decrypted by the base station. Okay, in this case also authentication key is locally stored in the SIM card, and this authentication key is taken from the list of keys available at the network end. Okay, so this is how encryption is performed. It is very simple scheme, and this is how confidentiality will be maintained over the wireless interface. Okay, for maintaining the anonymity, as we have already said, instead of using IMSI, VLR provides a temporary number TMSI, so anonymity does not require any algorithm for implementation. Okay, so this is how GSM provides the security in the wireless communication. In the next video, we will see the next generation of the mobile communication, that is 2.5G. Okay, thank you.